From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Friday, November the 4th, 2022. Several rockets were fired at Israel last night from Gaza. The Times of Israel said one rocket was intercepted by the Iron Dome, and shortly afterwards, 3 additional rockets were launched at Israel but fell short. The IDF said those projectiles exploded inside the Gaza Strip. In response to the rockets, the IDF wrote, "We targeted a Hamas underground site in Gaza used as a rocket development and manufacturing complex," saying we hold Hamas responsible for all terrorist activity emanating from Gaza. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid yesterday. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said to commend Israel for its free and fair elections and to thank the Prime Minister for his partnership. On Wednesday, Price was asked about the elections by the press, and while not responding directly, the Times of Israel cites him as saying, "We're just not going to speculate on a government that hasn't emerged yet." But Price said, "Regardless, we have a close and enduring relationship with Israel," adding, "We hope that all Israeli government officials will continue to share the values of an open, democratic society, including tolerance and respect for all in civil society, particularly for minority groups." U.S. Ambassador to Israel Tom Nides shared that he had a good call with the presumed winner of the elections, Benjamin Netanyahu, yesterday, tweeting, "I congratulated him on his victory and told him I look forward to working together to maintain the unbreakable bond." Lapid, meanwhile, yesterday held his first faction meeting since the election, saying, "We will continue to fight for a Jewish, democratic, and liberal Israel." More American Jewish organizations in responding to the elections are sharing concern over potential members of the new government, namely Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, who have each been condemned for extremist views. The Anti-Defamation League, while wishing Netanyahu well, said as an organization deeply committed to Israel's security and well-being as a Jewish and democratic state, we believe that including these far-right individuals and parties in an Israeli government would run counter to Israel's founding principles and impact its standing, even among its strongest supporters. The Rabbinical Assembly said our movement's commitment to Israel as the homeland for the Jewish people remains strong, regardless of the particular coalition that forms an Israeli government, adding, "We expect every Israeli government to uphold and strengthen democracy, treat all people with respect for their political and human rights, and recognize and support the diversity of the Jewish community in Israel and the diaspora." The Brooklyn Nets last night suspended Kyrie Irving. We reported to you yesterday that Irving said he took responsibility for a post earlier this week promoting a film full of anti-Semitic tropes and meant no harm by it, and pledged to donate $500,000 to organizations fighting hate, but fell short of apologizing and of clearly condemning anti-Semitism. The Nets wrote yesterday, "We were dismayed today when given an opportunity in a media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs, nor acknowledge specific hateful material in the film. This was not the first time he had the opportunity, but failed to clarify," suspending him without pay for at least 5 games. This refers to earlier in the day when Irving was asked by a member of the press if he has any anti-Semitic beliefs, to which he answered,
"I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from."
Well, after the suspension, Irving did post an apology on Instagram, writing, "To all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected from my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain, and I apologize." CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, who had reached out to work with Irving, the team, and the NBA, Jonathan Greenblatt, called the apology an encouraging step, but said that the ADL would not accept any funds from Irving. Greenblatt said, "If Kyrie is open to direct dialogue to repair the harm that he has caused and to engage in a process of healing and learning in a sincere manner, ADL is open to engaging with him Time and action will tell. Well, following a potential threat to synagogues in New Jersey, a heightened state of alert has been lifted. Yesterday, the FBI Newark branch shared that it received credible information of a broad threat to synagogues in New Jersey, calling for heightened security. The ADL's New York, New Jersey office, who is working with the FBI today, tweeted it was thankful to FBI Newark for addressing this threat and mitigating it. At this time, they wrote, we advise the community to remain vigilant given that an investigation is still ongoing, but no heightened state of alert is required, saying they were notified this morning that a subject is in custody, though an investigation was ongoing to identify any additional threats. Leading Reform rabbi and past director of Interreligious Affairs at the American Jewish Committee, A. James Rudin, will be knighted for his work on Catholic-Jewish relations. Archbishop of Boston Cardinal Sean Patrick O'Malley will present the knighthood to Rudin under the Papal Order of St. Gregory on November the 20th, making him the third American rabbi and the 9th Jewish person to receive this Vatican honor. Rudin said, I am deeply honored that Pope Francis has affirmed the extraordinary importance of Catholic-Jewish dialogue through this award, that he has continued the Church's historic commitment to care for the poor and disenfranchised, as my Jewish tradition calls it, tikkun olam, the repair of the world, makes this moment extremely special. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Friday, November the 4th. Live Shabbat services are coming up at 6 o'clock from New York City's Central Synagogue, followed by Shabbat services from the Hampton Synagogue. At 8:30, it's IDF Musicians in concert. At 9, it's the film Israel Inside. Then at 10, Eric Goldman speaks with Director Julia Mintz about the courageous Jewish fighters celebrated in 4 winters. At 10:30, a replay from the Hampton Synagogue, followed by a replay from Central. And coming up next, a look at this week's Torah Portion. And that's the JBS News Update for Friday, November the 4th, 2022. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well, and Shabbat Shalom.